Warren, how long have you been a part of TMA?
My company has been a part of TMA probably for 60 years.
So prior to you acquiring the company, they were already involved.
Yeah.
Were they active like you were active?
No,
No.
no. The company, like many of the TMA members, often are
So
passive.
what was the facilitator to you that drove you to want to become more engaged?
Like many people, we're not necessarily wanting to become more engaged. We just don't know when to say no, or how to say no. And we are invited
Many
to participate.
people in your position do say no. What was it that you thought that you could be of value or contribute to that made you say yes?
I would say two things. First of all, your premise maybe isn't correct. There's a lot of people who are not asked personally to participate. You know, if you've got, let's say, 1,000 members, you don't reach out and touch each one and give them a specific invitation. Or if you send them an email or a hard copy of something, they can just ignore that and be busy doing other things. It is often the pick up the phone or face-to-face, I want you to be participating in that. And then either you've tweaked their interest or they got this weak moment where they say, okay, I'll look into it. The next thing you know, the hook is planted and they're in doing something. And then once they're in doing something, they start to get an investment.
If you had to describe the TMA to somebody else, if you had to kind of give the TMA elevator pitch, how would you describe it?
It's an opportunity to network with your colleagues that are in your industry. We can be business colleagues, but your issues aren't my issues. Well, with TMA, there are segments of TMA members that do what you do. They're not necessarily competitors, but there's a lot that you can learn from them, you can share with them, and it makes all the difference.
Thank you for having me.
And how long have you been a part of the TMA?
About 3 years now.
And how did you learn about the TMA?
Found out through, I believe it was Greg Kaplan at KNC Machine. I think he sent Ben, I think, over, gave them the opportunity to come over to us. And actually, we knew about the TMA years earlier, probably about 20 or 30 years ago. I knew about the TMA, but never took the time to call up TMA to inquire about membership. And all of a sudden, 16 years went by. And then that was 3 years ago, and then we're glad that Ben called on us. We're happy to join the
If you
TMA.
had to describe the TMA to somebody else, what would be your elevator pitch? So much like if Kaplan was, you were going to introduce somebody else, what would you say?
Yeah, I would say that probably the fact that what we look forward to is the fact that there's local manufacturers, all different type of manufacturers that produce, whether it's metal chips or plastics, or whatever the case might be, that they find a reason to join the TMA. I think there's a lot of networking opportunities, a lot of education in terms of manufacturing. Again, there's, I guess, our voice gets heard in the political arena. So there's a lot of activities that the TMA puts on, and I'm very impressed that they do so many things on a weekly basis, and it seems like they're there to serve us. So at the same time, I think being a member, it's what you make of it. If you use them, you've got all these great opportunities to use them to network, to meet everybody. Get yourself better in what your industry is, and maybe get familiar definitely with other industries and what they do. So I think that's my big pitch, is that TMA is, if you're in manufacturing or anything that's related to manufacturing, that's a great way to get to know people, I think. And there's also the opportunities too. We've learned too that if there's questions, we're a smaller company, so we always felt like we're this lone island of in a group of all these people here, we don't know who to go to ask questions. So that's the great thing about TMA on a local basis. We can go to them to ask questions, whether it's anything to do with just in business, all the concerns you have that you have to whether it's a lawyer or HR issues, things like that. So we're still scratching the surface of what TMA can offer us, but we think of them much more now all the time if there's questions.
What is your perception that the TMA is geared for? Type of company?
I guess right now I would have thought it was more towards manufacturers, but I see that they're trying to go towards other companies. So I think that it's anybody that feels that they have an interest in being with manufacturing. I know that I've gotten to know people that are distributors. There's banks that come to this. So I think that's a great arena, because you have everybody that thinks that they're involved with the manufacturing one way or another, they come there and they present themselves. So I've got an opportunity to get to meet people that are maybe in banking or if I want to look at a new distributor for some product. So I think that's the great thing about it. It's not just manufacturing, that's why they're changing their name, I guess, to do that.